is associated with the nighttime, with savage behavior, with antisocial behavior. The werewolf is often thought to be a demon or to be a person who has become the puppet of demons.
If you look at the folklore, there is nothing there about half-man, half-wolf creatures. Werewolves simply look like other wolves. They are not different. The only difference is that they are animated by the spirit of a witch or sorcerer of some kind.
Hello everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. One thing that I forgot to mention in my last video on werewolves, I forgot to mention the part about how a person, from a scientific point of view, gets turned into a werewolf from a bite. Aside from the rituals and the legend of the full moon and how it's associated with silver, like silver and doing this ritual with the moon creates werewolves in this witchcraft type ritual thing. The legend of the skinwalkers, and just basically some kind of dark witchcraft. Now, to understand if it's true about that people can actually become werewolves if they're bitten by one, well, the only explanation from that would be, if it is true, the only thing that would pan out and make actual sense would be, pardon me, the only thing that would make sense would be if a werewolf bites you and you happen to survive, his DNA goes into your body and it causes a riot in your DNA. So in time, you'll start picking up the characteristics and the behavior of a werewolf, and which it would eventually lead to shape-shifting. And the best example would be from the movie The Howling, the first one. How the werewolf transformation, when that guy was like turned into a werewolf, and then he just put his hand out like this, and his fingernails were coming out, and all the blood was coming out as he was smiling with that sinister, disturbing smile. And the way he looks at the very end, when the transformation was final. That is straight up folklore, the way it's supposed to be. And just like what you saw in the beginning of this video, when that guy said, that folklore said that werewolves look like any typical other wolf. The only way you could tell is when they stand on their hind legs and they walk just like a human does. And in the movie The Howling, that shows a perfect example of it. And of course their hands come out like claws. They look a little different. So the DNA changes in that person when they get bit and when they survive. And they don't necessarily need the moon in order to shapeshift, like the way the people that are using it in witchcraft rituals would do it. So they could have the ability to shapeshift day or night anytime they want. They could stay in wolf in wolf form for as long as they want, or they can just keep it, stay in human form for as long as they want. They have the freedom, they have the actual freedom to do whatever they want in that sense. And their physical strength increases and all the rest of the way the folklore makes it out. One thing that's very important that's I mentioned about the silver bullets being able to kill them because the allergic reaction that they get from it. It actually, because of the fact that it's associated with the moon, it causes a disturbing riot in their DNA once the silver goes into their body. And it destroys the DNA of the wolf in the body. And that's why werewolves die. Now, that's from the scientific point of view, from a paranormal science kind of point of view. The point of view of that, and to me that makes sense. Now, some of you out there might have a different, perspective, a different view on it. But, I don't know. It just really makes sense.
This rare psychiatric condition is lycanthropy. Now, the word lycanthropy actually is related to Greek mythology. Zeus became enraged at the king of Lyca, and he transformed him into a raging wolf. And so we get from lycanthropy. The whole idea of lycanthropy is someone appearing or thinking of themselves as a wolf. Approximately 20 years ago, while I was working on an inpatient psychiatric service, I discovered a case of schizophrenia, which in fact turned out to be a case of lycanthropy.
Hello, sorry I'm late. I am Dr. Rosenstein.
The first time I saw this particular individual, she appeared frightened, out of control. She was sitting in a chair, holding on to various pieces of furniture, trying to explain something that she just couldn't explain. My first impression was that we had a terribly psychotic woman. But what was most unusual was that this lady was having a very peculiar delusion, namely envisioning herself in the form of a wolf.
Now there's this other part of the legend of werewolves, or having to do with werewolves. And this has to do with the condition, a mental illness known as lycanthropy. And this is a very serious mental illness in which the person takes on a behavior of a wolf. Now this, even though there's no physical transformation, at least as far as I know, but the behavior and the characteristics, the mannerisms and things like that, and when they start to growl and have these hallucinations, it could be, I guess depending on their point of view, it could be very terrifying. Especially if the person is really far gone and having this mental illness causing criminal behavior. Bill Ramsey was one case of lycanthropy, even though they say that he was possessed. by an evil spirit, and which brought on this issue, this problem. Now, there's also some people who have it, something similar to that, but it's more of a mental illness rather than some kind of spirit possession of how it actually happened. For anybody who has more information on lycanthropy, drop a comment, do whatever you want. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And to all of you, take care.